So the skincare tip number 14 is I wanted to talk a bit about. I touched on this last week. A little bit more information about your powders, not your foundation powders, but your powder, loose powders, and pressed powders. I thought that the pressed powder, I have read somewhere that they might have some sort of wax in them. That's what makes it stick together and stick to your face. But I looked up in the internet, and again, I am no expert, so look it up in the internet. I was reading up that loose powder, pressed powder are exactly the same thing, except that the loose powder is milled more finely. That's why it's so loose. Now, it just depends on what you like. I like loose powder better when I'm doing my makeup to set my makeup because if it's so much lighter. And then I keep a pressed powder in my bag to touch up if I'm feeling a little bit greasy or sweaty, because sometimes that will remove your makeup when you're all greasy. So I touch up with the powder, pressed powder when I'm on the road. So I heard there's really no difference. It's just a preference. The thing I did want to give you a warning is about these little sponges. They have to be changed frequently. I know that when I first started doing Mary Kay, my sponge would start smelling, and back then I didn't know about cleaning your brushes and stuff, and you should just throw them out and buy new ones. And that with sponges, that is exactly what you have to do with these little puffs and sponges. They have to be thrown out frequently. I guess whatever you're comfortable with. I usually throw out mine after a month. And you can buy those little cosmetic sponges. I use it for my concealer, sometimes for makeup to kind of smooth out my makeup. And I don't even use them for my compacts anymore because they're in there. They're getting germs and microbes and bacteria. And you keep it closed, it's not airing out, and then it's transferring that bacteria to your pressed powder. So I carry with me a little baby kabuki brush. I thought I might have had one. Let me see. Yes, okay, I do. I've gotten these free sometimes with purchases of loose powders or mineral powders or from companies. Sometimes you can get these little ones for cheap. I carry around this little baby kabuki with me now, and I use that to put on my pressed powder, and I love it. And these can be cleaned, but again, if you're using these sponges, I wouldn't recommend keeping it in your compact with your pressed powder. I would recommend that you get a little kabuki or keep it separately from your compact. Maybe put it in a little Ziploc, but they gotta be thrown out. You can't keep them for a long time because it's just going to put bacteria in your skin, and you could break out and stuff like that, or get a skin infection or something like that. So I just wanted to give you that warning. At least these brushes can be cleaned. And honestly, I've tried all these different cleaners, and a cheap method that works to me, just works great, is I get baby shampoo because it's gentle, and I mix it with water and put it in these little spray bottles, and that's what I use to clean my brushes. And then you just rinse them. For harder to clean brushes, I just put the baby shampoo over it and put it in the sink and just keep rubbing it against my hand in a circular motion, because I find if you just start going like this back and forth, it ruins your brushes. They get tangled and stuff, and I've had to throw out one or two brushes because of that. So for the harder to clean brushes, use the baby shampoo right over it, put it under running water, and just keep doing that till it comes clean. And that's what I use for my brushes. So again, just a warning. The only one more thing I want to tell you about the washing brushes though is that they don't recommend that you get anything above here. Don't get the plastic or the metal wet, because it does take off the glue, and eventually your brushes, the bristles will start coming off. But I find that that's just really hard to avoid when you're putting it under running water. But that's just a recommendation. So With your powders, I would recommend these little loose brushes. I would try not to use the sponges, and if you do, keep them separate in a Ziploc and throw them out frequently, because even in a zip, they're not breathing and they're not airing out, and they're just collecting the sweat and the germs from your skin. So I really would recommend that you throw those out. Change them frequently. And then one more thing about powders, and I meant to look this up because I can't remember if it's the mica or if this is silicone based, but you do have your powders will settle in to your fine lines. And again, I'm saying this as an older woman, they settle in to my wrinkles, because to set your concealer, they say put some powder on and it'll set it. Well, that might work well for younger women, but for us older women, that doesn't work. It's just going to settle into your fine lines. So they recommend these powders, and I believe it's silicone based, but again, check it out on the internet, because I didn't go to school for this. I just read a lot and educate myself. And supposedly these work better. And you can take a little brush and just help that to set your concealer. And again, another thing is you might want to try, the powder can feel drying. So again, you might want to try like a dewy spray or a mist like Fix Mist Plus. I don't shop MAC anymore. I just can't afford it anymore. I'm kind of turned off by them already. I told you there was a scandal going on with the Juarez. And quite frankly, I was disappointed with the pigmentation of their shadows, and that's when I went to Wet n Wild, because for like a tenth of the cost, you're getting so much more pigmentation. But there are two things that I do like from MAC that I still buy, and that's their brush cleaner and their Fix Mist Plus. And so it's got like glycerin in it, I believe, and you just spray it on your face. And so that powder doesn't give you that cakey look or give you that drying feeling, you just spray it over your face and it helps to settle. So, these are just, steps in, in makeup. You keep your skin clean, keep your skin moisturized, keep your skin protected with SPF, and then choose a foundation that's right for you. And then, how to set that. So that's my tip for today.